Bel-Air is Peacock's darker reimagining of the classic 1990s sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and the drama has been renewed for its fourth and final season. Spawning from a 2019 fan film by Morgan Cooper, Bel-Air follows a teenager named Will Jabari Banks, who is whisked away from the mean streets of West Philadelphia to live with his wealthy relatives in the titular neighborhood in Los Angeles. Like the original comedy series, Bel-Air tackles issues like race, elitism, and the class divide within the black community, but it does so with a straight face instead of laughs. Bel-Air began in 2022 as one of Peacock's first original series, and it was the first to score an additional season renewal. It has since become the platform's longest-running series, and is now set to conclude after its fourth season. Though Season 4 was in jeopardy, Peacock opted to bring it back, and there are several key storylines that have yet to reach their natural conclusion. Unlike the original sitcom which ran for the better part of a decade, the tightly plotted Bel-Air will get a chance to conclude its succinct four-season story in style. Bel-Air season for latest news. A production update for the final season. Will, wearing his blazer inside out, and Carlton standing in the school library in Bel-Air. A few months after the show was renewed for its final season, the latest news arrives in the form of a production update for Bel-Air Season 4. Vivian Banks star Cassandra Freeman spoke candidly about the show's future in a recent interview with Screen Rant, where she not only discussed her feelings about its ending, but also offered a glimpse at the production timeline. "It's bittersweet, but I feel so ecstatic," said Freeman. "We'll be back at work in a few months." It's unclear if she means filming will begin soon, or if writing will begin in earnest. Though it took 2 months for the decision to come down, Peacock opted to renew Bel-Air for its fourth season in December 2024. This makes Bel-Air the platform's longest-running show by yet another season, and the reboot is still the only Peacock original thus far to earn a third season and beyond. Unfortunately, the renewal also came with the news that Season 4 will be the final outing for Bel-Air. While an exact reason hasn't been given, the writing was on the wall that the gritty reimagining was on its last leg. Having shed a series of showrunners across its three-season run, Bel-Air had begun to be overshadowed by the platform's other high-profile programs. That has pushed Peacock to cut the final season down a bit, and Bel-Air Season 4 will now consist of only 8 episodes instead of 10. How that will change the final season remains unclear, but it may help make the last outing one of the most consistent because it is told across a shorter span and doesn't need to rely on any filler. Bel-Air Season 4 cast details. Will and his family return for the last time. After a shocking and twist-filled third season, the cast of Bel-Air is expected to return en masse for Season 4. Not only do they need to immediately address some of the cliffhanger, but the beloved ensemble is needed so that they can be given proper send-offs. Leading the series will be Jabari Banks as Will Smith, and he'll be joined by his cousin, Carlton Banks, played by Ollie Charlton. The rest of the Banks family will be back as well, including Cassandra Freeman as Will's Aunt Viv, and Adrian Holmes as the stentorian Uncle Phil, though the simmering love triangle between Hillary, Coco Jones, Jazz, Jordan L. Jones, and LaMarcus, Justin Cornwell, was seemingly put to bed by Hillary and LaMarcus' wedding. Things weren't left in a good place after the latter collapsed. Furthermore, Jeffrey's troubling past caught back up with him in Season 3, and Jimmy Akingbola will need to reprise his role in order to close that chapter in the story. Bel-Air Season for story details. Some major cliffhanger from Season 3. Jeffrey, Jimmy Akingbola, tells Phil that he is worried about his son Frederick in Bel-Air Season 3 Episode 5. As far as twists and cliffhanger go, the ending of Bel-Air Season 3 might have been the most shocking moment in the entire series. This sets the stage for an explosive final outing, as there are a handful of very pressing stories that will need to be resolved quickly. First, Jeffrey's criminal past came back to haunt him in Season 3, and he opted to flee in order to keep the Banks family safe. Unfortunately, it had the opposite effect and Will was kidnapped in the season's final moments. This will certainly bring Jeffrey out of hiding, as he must do the right thing to save Will. Elsewhere, LaMarcus collapsed on his wedding day, and it's not clear if the football player will survive. This adds more tension to the situation, as it's clear that the Jazz-Hillary-LaMarcus love triangle isn't done simmering quite yet. As if all that wasn't dramatic enough, it was also revealed that Aunt Viv was pregnant, and a later-in-life pregnancy could completely change the dynamic of the Banks household. It also mirrors the storyline from the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, perhaps a cheeky nod to the classic show. All this adds up to an explosive final 8 episodes, and there are likely going to be more twists and turns before Bel-Air concludes. What remains to be seen is how the series will offer a satisfying conclusion, and there is still a long way to go in only a short time. However, the series has never failed to handle tense moments before, and the last outing will probably be the best of all.